Right, we should be live on air.
Excellent.
Hello, welcome to Politics Season 2, Episode 2, which is the fifth in the overall series, to use the American terminology. I can't think of what our terminology would be. Right.
American one, series is the English one.
No, because in America, a series is like the show, and then a season is the first season, the second season.
Yeah.
But just the whole, a collection of seasons would still be a series. So
yeah. Okay. I'm with you on that.
Anyway, we will be talking about American politics later on because I thought of a funny joke which I want to say, which is unfortunately might go against our usual policy of trying to keep this show PG, but it's really, really funny, so I want to say it anyway. Yeah.
It's not going to be that funny, is it?
No, it's going to be a massive letdown. Alright, anyway, UK politics. I've forgotten to bring up the flyer because we've started getting the leaflets through the door for. Well, I had two in my house so far from the people standing for election. Had one from the Conservative bloke. We've had a Conservative MP and Conservative councillors, and then a Lib Dem MP. And I was reading through it, and he seemed to have some decent policies. But then I turned over, and like the front of it, there's a big picture of his face, obviously, so you know who he is. And then like his second policy is campaigned against extended drinking hours. I was just like, obviously this man is not getting my vote. Like,
no, definitely not getting my vote.
No, exactly. What a ridiculous policy. So, I mean, if I was him, I would have played that down entirely. I'd be like, oh no, I don't remember voting for that policy at all. So,
I've campaigned in my time for policy changes, but I just can't remember which policy changes they were.
Yeah. So many policies, they just merge into one. But yeah, like, especially given that everyone's always trying to go after the youth vote, or like they actually aren't, but they like to pretend that they are because not enough young people vote. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate. Do you reckon he's just gone full out? It's like, well, we've abandoned young people on tuition fees, so we might as well just mug them off on drinking hours as well. Like, kind of vote for other two. Let's just double down on not young people.
Yeah.
No.
Hello. Hello, Mrs. Blakey. That's literally the best thing to this show ever.
That's probably the worst heckle I've ever had.
What did she say?
I don't know. She's come in and closed the curtains a little bit, but I mean the curtains were already closed.
Look, we all know why she's coming. It's because she knew that I was going to be on. That's why. She knew I was on. She thought, oh, haven't seen Higgins in a while. Let's go and see him.
That is true, actually. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. We'll get her involved next time. Yeah, well, no, that's great because I've totally forgotten what I was saying. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, drinking in this in-depth political discussion. But yeah, I mean it's sort of a problem that you can see a five-way. What's it called? I keep wanting to say the Rebels debate, but like the Rebel Alliance because they're not in power. But that's entirely not the right word. I want to say like challengers debate, like sort of a new challenger approach, like opposition. That's the word.
It's Nick Clegg was prevented from doing it because he's in government, despite the fact he's done nothing for 5 years. Apparently that means he's been in government, so he can't be part of these debates. But I mean, you know, it was an absolute joke. I mean, David Cameron saying I've unblocked the logjam and I'm only going to do one debate. It essentially meant that, you know, when he was on, he was diluted. Because you know everybody was concentrating on Nigel Farage and his ridiculous comments, and when he had the opposition's debate was on, it meant he could sit back, not really do much, and then respond after the event. He could say, "Well, I'd do this or I wouldn't do that," and you know it was very shrewd of him. But quite frankly, what we should have just done is had him, Clegg, and Miliband, and just said, right, okay, we're having 3 debates, then we're going to have an opposition's debate of all the minor parties like Plaid Cymru, SNP, UKIP, Greens. We'll have another debate with them lot in it. We'll have the three main party leaders in a debate together. If you don't show up, David, we'll empty chair you. It's as simple as that. It's nothing personal. Essentially, if you don't want to turn up, you don't have to. And it just make you look really bad if you didn't turn up. I mean, the guy is such a smarmy git, and I don't like him. I never have liked him, to be honest with you. He's always been one of those rather unfortunate-looking, chubby people who could tell they were quite fat when they were younger, and then as they grew up, they got taller, but their face didn't lose any of the fat. So he's also got a forehead the size of the Isle of Wight, I don't trust the man. I don't trust him to lead a country. He's done it mediocrely for 5 years. I don't think he'd be any good for it for another 5 years, quite frankly. But I think with the debates, and I watched the highlights of the opposition debates. It's all sort of rubbish that came out of Nigel Farage's mouth.
Well, I think the best thing Farage did was when he turned on the audience and was basically dismissing. Because that's the thing is the problem with all the people complaining about the debates, yourself included, is it has been done by a third party, like who are in theory meant to be independent. It was a broadcasting thing. I have no idea what went on at those negotiations. I imagine they were pretty boring.
Yeah.
But they were. Unfortunately, those conditions were agreed to by everyone. But it's still an odd situation. But yeah, because Farage at one point started turning on the audience and said, like this live studio audience, and said, even for the BBC, this lot are pretty left wing. Which was, I mean, it was funny. And then Dibbleby sort of said, I'm pretty sure you don't want to attack the audience. And then Farage said, the real audience is at home. And I just thought, well, that is, like a lot of things that come out of Farage's mouth, it is irritatingly true, but it's like, I mean, numerically, there are far more people at home than there are in the audience. So, like, statistically, slagging off everyone in the audience probably isn't going to affect the share of the vote, but then it just looks really, really bad. And it's a little bit like everyone's out to get me, they've got a base on the other side of the moon. You kind of, that sort of mentality of everyone here's after me. So I don't know. I don't know. It was just a weird one. But I mean,
have you seen the photograph of Ed Miliband and his "Oh please" look? He's literally just like it's when Farage is talking. He's there kind of going. It's absolutely
it's an odd face. Like, if anything, though, the thing that annoyed me most about the opposition leaders' debate is, again, like the seven-way, the thing that annoyed me most about both these debates is the people haven't been forced to wear their party colours. Like in the seven-way leaders' debate, Ed Miliband was wearing a grey tie. It's like, are you having a laugh? The Labour leader should be wearing a red tie. Cameron had blue on, Clegg had yellow, Farage had purple. Like, I appreciate that if you're Nicola Sturgeon, you don't really want to wear a bright yellow dress, but unfortunately that's your party's colours, so it should have been enforced. I appreciate it was slightly wintry at that point and yellow is more for spring and summer, but they should have made everyone wear the right colour. Leanne Wood as well, she was wearing something sort of red, and Plaid Cymru was sort of a dark green, whereas the Green Party were a light green. So it's not like anyone's going to get Leanne Wood and Natalie Bennett confused. Like, oh, there's two women wearing a green dress. I can't tell them apart, except that they sound like they're from opposite ends of the earth, which they sort of are. Like,
yeah. I mean, did you see the hug of the three women at the end of the debate, where the three women got together and gave each other a hug, and then there was just like Miliband was sort of at the end, and Farage was sort of at the end, and they were sort of both sort of there, like kind of, well, this is awkward.
Well, they're sort of both doing a Daniel Sturridge in that Liverpool photo, where he's just sort of leaning in, like, not really part of the photo.
No, it was worse than that. It's a full-on Ashley Cole at Roma, where they were sort of stood there, poking their heads in like that.
Oh yeah, that's yeah, Ashley Cole. That's horrendous. But yeah, it's funny. But I just. Like, even though we do the podcast about politics now, I just find that like, the debate coverage now has just become so stale. That's for
Mm,
10 minutes of politics done, but we'll carry on. It's just become so stale because sort of nothing's really happening.
yeah, yeah.
I think
Oh,
I think they need to just make the whole process more interesting. They need a good like sex scandal or something. Talking of which, Hillary Clinton running for president of the US again.
I'm
I
so.
think
I mean, there's nothing that the Republicans. There's no real challenger for the Republicans, and I'd love to see Hillary in power because I think she's one of the few really influential and honest and open women in politics at the moment. And what was great was I think Jeb Bush or someone, it may not have been Jeb Bush himself, but someone tweeted saying, you know, who's a staunch Republican supporter certainly, tweeted, "We don't want another Clinton," and the response was a hashtag not another Bush.
yeah. That's it. Yeah, because Jeb Bush was governor of Florida, I think. Right. I mean,
He still
I've always felt bad for Hillary Clinton because basically she is probably the least famous person to have ever sucked off Bill Clinton. If Monica Lewinsky was running for president, everyone would know.
That is so harsh. But hang on, Monica Lewinsky wasn't she a reporter or something like that before? And anyway, it doesn't matter. But you are right. You
Everyone
are
knows
right.
who Monica Lewinsky is. I mean, what do we actually know about Hillary Clinton? Like, we know that she was Bill Clinton's wife.
Still
She
is.
was,
She still
yeah,
is.
she was,
Why not was? Still
she
is.
was for like Minister for Foreign Affairs equivalent for a while. I
Yeah.
think
Secretary of
maybe
State.
Secretary
Yeah.
of State. That's the one. I mean, I couldn't. I don't know. I don't know what else.
She is a congresswoman somewhere. I can't remember where though. Oh, it's going to do my head in. It's going
Oh
to.
well.
Never mind. It doesn't matter. But I mean, I think she'll get the Democratic nomination, not a problem. And to be honest with you, I don't think the Republicans can field a decent enough candidate. And anyway, who wants a Republican president again? They're all nuts. They're all gun-toting, anti-liberal, moronic people. And you know, it's really hard to keep this, as you said, PG when talking about the Republicans because they are a bunch of nutcases.
But this is the thing: is like I imagine Hillary Clinton will probably get the Democratic.
Well, that seems to have happened. Yeah.